Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go pick up a new project. Hopefully I'm going to go look at a 1984 Honda 200X. Found it on Facebook Marketplace. The guy's asking 300 bucks for it and the motor's pulled out of it. Looks like it comes with a bunch of random parts. I'll see what I can film when I get there. I don't know how this guy is. I've never met him, obviously, since it's Facebook Marketplace, but we'll see how this goes. I'll keep you guys updated. All right, here it is. Didn't really want to record at the guy's house. It's a 1984 Honda 200X. Had one of these years ago. Ended up trading it for a Honda, or not a Honda, a Yamaha big wheel 200, and that thing was a pile of crap. Kind of just like the dude showed up and I thought it was going to be worth more than the 200X. It was right when COVID hit, and it was just kind of a nightmare. So I've always wanted another one, and now I have another one. So came with a bunch of parts I'll show you. I already put the motor in the shop because it's starting to rain. So I'm going to go ahead and do this stuff pretty quick, and then tomorrow we'll go through everything. So came with these two wheels, which I don't even know what they're for. I just took them. Looks like they were on a go-kart, so I'll use them for a project. Came with two tanks. Inside doesn't look that bad. One has a little bit of rust. When I was carrying the motor in, it leaked motor oil down my jeans, so that's cool. Some other parts in here inside the truck. So this whole box is full of parts. There's another tank for like a 200 or a 185. This thing's full of brakes. Full of parts. I was just thinking, I hope the brakes are in there because this frame does not have any of the brakes on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff unloaded, but first I'll show you guys the motor. It's got a messed up shift shaft, but there's a new used one. Oh yeah, you can see my mess. Just oil all in here, all over the ground, but there's the motor. So I'm gonna go ahead and unload this thing real quick and get all these parts in here, and then tomorrow, since it's Friday evening, we'll go through all the parts and see what we got. These gold wheels are freaking sweet. Hopefully I can clean these up. And a big tote full of all the rest of the parts.
What?
Alright, so I'm back the next day with this $250 1984 Honda 250X three-wheeler. So let's go ahead and go through this bucket of parts. I didn't go through it when I bought it. I just thought it was such a good deal, I just snatched it up. So it'll be the first time I'm seeing what's in here. So looks like a front fender melted from a exhaust pipe down here, so this is pretty much garbage. Planning on getting new plastics anyways. Came with this tank. I don't know what this is off of. I'm guessing either like a 200 or a 185. Yeah, it feels kind of loose. Oh, it's missing the gasket in here. Oh wow, the inside of this tank's like perfect. Come around and show you guys. Not how well you can see in there. That's really clean. So a little bit of rust on the inside, but this is definitely still usable. Just one dent right there on the top. Glove was mine. Came with the air box. That's cool. There's no air filter in it. It's pretty dirty, but that's usable. We'll go ahead and clean that up. Headlight guard. Not sure if 200X came with these. Could be wrong. There's a little bend in it, but this is definitely savable. This will be awesome if it goes to that. All right, here's the handlebars. Well, that's the other part of the carburetor. Looks like they just zip tied that. We'll go ahead and take that apart and put that back in the carburetor. That's not good. These are bent. These aren't usable. Somebody rolled that thing pretty hard. The brake master cylinder, just a hole in it, so I'll have to find a new one of those. Still got the banjo bolt, or however you say it. This isn't factory. I actually have a Honda thumb throttle somewhere in my storage. This looks like the clutch cable. Here's the exhaust. I can kind of see this in the ad that it had like an aftermarket pipe. This is a DG pipe. That's pretty cool. Our silencer. Here's the head pipe. A little bit of surface rust on this, but we'll clean that up. Some welder splatter on that. Another headlight cover. To do a stock photo, Google it to see which one's what. Here's the headlight. Some sticker on there. Cool. These are expensive. I'm glad this is in there. Here's the brake, rear brake lever. Huh. Rear tail light. That's cool, and the wires aren't cut. Hopefully the wire harness is in here. Here's another air box. This is probably the right one for this. The guy I got this from said him and his stepdad and stepbrother used to buy these all the time and fix them up. This has got a brand new uni filter in it. That's awesome. Sweet. That's a score. He also said that this thing's been sitting for like, I don't know, 10 years. There's a sticker on here in Oregon. You get these trail permits. This says 2016 April, so that's 9 years, almost 10. He did show me this. Problem why this supposedly was torn apart was the shift shaft was stripped and somebody just welded one on there, but here's a new one with a new, or a new used one. This is from 2019. RPM ATV. Cool. Random piece of aluminum. It's a clutch lever. One of the foot pegs. The other foot peg. Looks like we got like 3 carburetors in here, which is cool. These are all key and carbs too. Just stick in that. Kale Kong. I'm not kidding you, that's what that says on there. Manufactured equipment from China. If they were running this carb. Coil. Looks original. Some random gas line. Skid plate. Intake boot. Random air filter housing or whatever you call it. Let's see. One brake rotor. This is for the front. That wasn't on there. Swing arm bolt. What's this? Random brake shoes for something. This is all disc brakes, so. Here's the rear brake, part of the wire harness. That's interesting. Pads are done, but we'd replace those anyways. Looks like it's just been hose clamped on there. That should be fine. This master cylinder is not, our reservoir's not cracked. Let's see how this feels. It's not seized. Here's the front brake line and caliper. Engine side cover. Some water in here. This thing must have sat outside. Ooh, that's been JB welded. Something happened there. Chain must have broke off. Huh. Engine mount bolts. Another thumb throttle. This looks like it's like off a ATC 70. Another engine mount. All the hoses for the airbox. Kickstarter. Brake lever. Half a brake lever. Random mount for something. Carburetor slide. More of the wire harness. Random hoses. Some kind of fuse. This is for the rear brakes. That's nice that this is still on here. This goes over the kickstarter. I remember my last 200X, there's like a weird spacing between the kickstarter and the engine. That's where that goes. Random shifter, front sprocket. Maybe a top motor mount, some kind of motor mount. Then just a bunch of garbage basically in the bottom of this. Well, no treasures like I was hoping. I mean, this is basically all the parts that were taken off the frame. The motor, on the other hand, I'll show you that real quick. All right, so like I said last night, this thing leaked oil all the way in here. So here's the side cover. Apparently when the guy's brother was tearing this apart, this engine bolt was seized in there. And I guess he just tried to make a cut there to free it, and it broke the whole thing off. But this half's still on there. I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. Still got the top mount, that mount, and that mount. So I'm not really worried about that. That stator cover though, chain definitely came off this at one point. Don't see any JB weld in the bottom. You always want to check that on these. I haven't even seen if this thing turns over. Yeah, it turns over and has, feels like pretty good compression. There's that seized. Oh, it's in gear. Do a full revolution. Yeah, this isn't tightened down, so I'll leave it right there. So I looked online. Apparently you just got to pull this side cover. There's that funny Kickstarter thing I was telling you guys about. Pull the side cover and the whole, here's the main reason I guess this thing was torn apart. This shift shaft right here, just stripped, and someone welded one on there, so it feels like a lot of play. I don't know if they're supposed to have that much play. Let me see if this thing shifts. I I found a running motor on eBay for 600 bucks, worst case scenario, so. But maybe put a pair of vice grips on there. I think it's pretty chewed up. Oh yeah, it shifts. Cool. Yeah, so pretty much most of the parts, looks like I'm gonna have to get a front master cylinder. Oh yeah, here's the other parts it came with. Came with these wheels. There's another one. Looks like these were off a go-kart, which I've been wanting to build one anyway, so the only reason I took them. See if they'll hold air. They're not flat, not too dry rotted. Should be fine. These are really cool. These are 250R wheels. See if I can find a date on these. 1 of 86. Those are sweet. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Someone sprayed this one black, but I can probably pressure wash that off. These are actually pretty valuable wheels. I may sell them. I don't know yet. Came with these 2 tanks. Oh, I have a seat for it in the back of my truck too. That's still in good shape. Inside these tanks are, oh, it's like an aluminum cap. They're really clean inside this one. This was the one that was on the bike. This is a spare one. I think this one was a little rusty inside, but yeah, that one's kind of rusty. But definitely usable. I don't know if you guys saw the one from that ATC 70 I built. That one was crusty. So front forks look fine. Seals are leaking. Obviously these boots need replaced. Probably do the front seals on this. Rear shock isn't hooked up right, so that's why it's sitting so low. What I think I'm gonna do is tear this frame all the way down, and then repaint it. Then, well, actually, first I'll probably work on the motor, see if I can figure out that shift shaft since I have a new one. Order a gasket set for it. Check compression on the top end, see how that is. Maybe put a bore scope down there to see how the cylinder, the walls look and stuff. Change the oil, obviously. Then tear this all the way down. Put the motor in it and see if it'll run. Got to figure out a carburetor. I got 3 to choose from. And then I didn't get rear plastics with it. That was the only thing he said that was missing. And you know what? I just realized these clamps for the handlebars are missing, I think, unless, yeah, they're missing. It's pretty typical when you buy stuff like this, there's going to be something missing. That 85 4-Trax 250 I did was like the most complete I've ever gotten a project. Every bolt was put back where it was supposed to go, and that was really awesome, but that's a rarity. Here's that stator cover, or the stator. That thing looks pretty crusty, and this is done. It's been hit with a chain a few times, and I don't know if it leaks or not. The bolts are probably missing for that. So hopefully I can get a bolt set for this engine. Oh, here's the cover for that side, for this side, for the cam chain and stuff. But anyways, hopefully I can get an engine bolt set for this. So this is the main damage I'm not really worried about. Don't know what kind of build I'm going to do on this. Maybe you guys could leave me a suggestion down below of thinking like just a rider. I mean, this one's, it's not the best shape, it's not the worst shape. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave this frame alone. Apparently it was painted when he tore it apart. You can kind of see there's painter's tape on that, but then they missed spots. But if this is just a rider, I mean, I don't really care. 250 bucks, I could double or triple my money on eBay, but I don't like parting bikes out. I want to save this one. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you for watching. Can't wait to get started on this project and see where it goes.